Strength and size doesn't always guarantee victory in the animal kingdom. A honey badger can stand its ground against a lion, a porcupine can give reality checks to a leopard, and a mongoose can take down a cobra.
This is something I never saw in my whole life.
So tag along to see the most unpredictable outcomes of animals' fights that shocked everyone. Orcas are not just predators, they're strategists. Known as the wolves of the sea, they hunt in pods, planning every move. Just look at this moment. One dolphin breaks the surface, unaware of the risk below. An orca, being the opportunist, knew it was the right movement. In a flash, one lunged, cutting off its escape and dragging it underwater. And there, its companion was waiting. The two began surrounding their prey, blocking every way out. The dolphin twisted, trying to break free, but the orcas had already planned their attack. Working together, they pushed it into a trap. Orcas aren't just strong, they're smart with hunting tactics. Lion versus hyenas. Hyenas never let a lone lion go. They know the odds, and they know when to strike. One young lion had wandered too far, alone, roaming freely, unaware that sharp eyes were already watching. The hyenas saw their chance, and they took it, over 20 of them, closing in. He roared, swiped, and tried to hold his ground, but it was impossible to fight them all at once. Any moment now, and they'd bring him down. Then came a thunderous roar. Another lion charged in. And just like that, the balance shifted. Hyenas may outnumber a lion, but they won't face two. One by one, they backed off. This time, the lion got away, but the rivalry never ends. Bold move. Lions don't tolerate leopards in their territory, and when a pride spots one alone, it's a fight. The leopard rarely wins. This male leopard was trapped by 12 lions surrounding him. Lying low, he tried not to provoke them, but the young lions were relentless. One step closer, then another. He fought back, kicking and swiping at any that dared approach. But for every lion he struck away, more took its place. The pride was testing him, waiting for the right moment. Then they charged. The Kambula subadults overpowered him, bringing him down. In the wild, strength in numbers always wins. For leopards, being alone is the greatest risk. Opportunistic Bear. In the wild, nothing comes easy, especially when a bear wants what's yours. Two wolves had their prize, but a brown bear had other plans. Step by step, he moved in. The wolves stood their ground, growling in defiance, but the bear was bigger, stronger, and more determined. If they didn't back off, he'd make them. The wolves snapped and dodged, trying to hold their own. But one powerful charge was all it took. They had no choice but to retreat. They got away unharmed, but the message was clear. When a bear wants something, there's no stopping him. Giant Challenger. Elephants and rhinos usually avoid each other, but when they clash, size decides the winner. At first, this encounter seemed calm, but then the rhino made the first move. Lowering its head, it charged. The elephant stood firm, and with one powerful shove, it struck back. The impact sent the rhino stumbling. It tried to hold its ground, but the elephant's strength was too much. Realizing the fight was lost, the rhino turned and rushed away. Rhinos may have sharp horns, but against a giant, that's not enough. Buffalo's unexpected move.
Daar skraap hy die leeu. Daar gooi die leeu.
In Kruger National Park, Africa, tourists watched as young lions surrounded a monitor lizard in a dried-up riverbed, a reminder of the recent drought. The cubs were ready to claim their prize until an unexpected savior arrived. A buffalo, seemingly aware of the lizard's fate, took action. It crept up from behind and, without warning, struck one of the lions with its ribs, sending it flying several meters into the air. The cub tumbled to the ground as the others scattered, leaving the lizard behind.
Dat skrapen die leeuw. Wat gooi die leeuw?
Maybe the buffalo was protecting it, or maybe it just didn't like sharing space with nosy little hunters. Lions may rule the land, but buffaloes don't always agree. Moose turns the tables. In Glacier National Park, a tourist staying at a hostel captured an unexpected sight. A grizzly bear stood at the water's edge, eyeing a moose and its calf. Known for their strength, grizzlies often prey on young moose, especially in spring. But this time, the bear wasn't the one in control. Before it could move closer, the mother moose charged. In a sudden turn of events, the predator became the prey, scrambling away as the determined moose chased it off. The glacier is called Bear Country, but maybe no one told the moose that. Jaguars Surprise. In Brazil's Pantanal, a tourist captured a rare sight, one that proves why jaguars are top predators. A caiman lay peacefully by the water, unaware of the risks lurking nearby. Then, in an instant, a jaguar struck from behind. The caiman thrashed, trying to escape, but the jaguar's powerful bite was too much. With incredible strength, it dragged its prey into the water. For the caiman, it was just another quiet day, until it wasn't. Who's the real king?
Remember, we were saying now, 8 out of the 16 are youngsters, they're not going to do anything? This is absolutely incredible.
Lions may be called the king of beasts, but in the wild, size matters, and elephants don't take titles lightly. In the heart of the bush, a pride was resting peacefully, but their peace didn't last long. A massive elephant bull had spotted them. At first, he just stood there watching. The lions kept an eye on him, but none moved. Then, with a slow, deliberate step, the elephant came closer. With a sudden charge, the massive bull stepped forward. The cubs were the first to flee, followed by the adults, disappearing into the distance. The elephant didn't chase. He didn't need to. One move was enough to remind them who truly ruled the land. Wrong pool, wrong crowd. In the Serengeti, a lone crocodile made a risky mistake. It swam straight into a pod of hippos. Hippos may look calm, but they don't tolerate intruders. The moment the croc slipped into the water, the herd reacted. Massive bodies turned, jaws snapped, and the water churned in chaos. The crocodile tried to escape, but the hippos weren't letting up. One lunged, and another blocked its path. It was completely outnumbered. Yet somehow, against the odds, it managed to break free. Bruised but alive, the croc finally reached safety. A harsh lesson learned. Some waters just aren't worth crossing. Frozen pursuit. For generations, wolves and bison had battled for survival in the frozen wilderness. Each had evolved to outmatch the other, wolves with teamwork and bison with strength and sheer size. On this day, the rivalry played out once again. A pack of 25 wolves spotted a herd moving through dense willows. The chase began, snow flying as predator and prey pushed forward. The bison ran as one, their formation holding strong. But then, a young bison lagged behind. The wolves saw their chance. They surged forward, cutting off its escape. The pack seized the moment, bringing it down after a relentless pursuit. A hard-won victory, but the struggle for survival was far from over. Spectacular fight. In the Gulf of California, a whale shark unknowingly entered waters dominated by orcas. The ocean's top predators responded swiftly. A pod moved in, isolating a smaller shark. With expert coordination, they focused on its most vulnerable area, weakening it with calculated precision. Researchers observed similar hunts, suggesting this might be a specialized technique. Some believe this behavior could indicate a unique hunting culture among these orcas. If true, it proves that even the the ocean's largest fish aren't safe from these apex predators. The Gulf of California might be home to a pod that has adapted to target whale sharks, showing just how intelligent and ruthless orcas can be in their hunt for survival. Rare spectacle. In Monterey Bay, a rare spectacle unfolded. A pod of orcas set their sights on a blue whale, the largest animal on Earth. Though orcas have been known to hunt blue whales, this behavior was rarely seen in the area. A drone captured the intense moment. The orcas surrounded the massive whale, striking and harassing it. Researchers suspected they weren't hunting, but possibly playing with their oversized target. The blue whale, despite its size, seemed startled. It thrashed its tail, sending water flying in all directions. But realizing it was outnumbered, the giant fled. This rare encounter proved that even the ocean's largest creature isn't always safe from the ocean's top predators. Desperate escape. In the frigid waters of Antarctica, a lone penguin found itself in a high-stakes chase. A leopard seal, an apex predator, lurked beneath the thinning sea ice, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. As soon as the penguin dived, the chase began. The penguin swam frantically, twisting and turning to evade the predator. The shrinking ice made escape even harder. With one final push, it leaped onto the ice. The leopard seal lunged, but the penguin was just out of reach. Realizing the hunt had failed, the seal sank back into the water. The penguin was calm and safe, at least for now. But with rising temperatures melting the ice earlier each year, these escapes are becoming even more difficult. Great white outnumbered. Off the coast of South Africa, seals face danger every time they hunt. Powerful ocean currents bring fish, but they also attract great white sharks. This surprising sight was caught on camera. When a great white approached, the seals did something unexpected. Instead of fleeing, they turned, more joined, forming a fast-moving swarm around the predator. The shark, built for speed and ambush, was suddenly outmatched. The seals darted in and out, overwhelming it. Against sheer numbers, the great white had no choice, so it retreated. This surprising behavior shows how seals have adapted to increasing threats in their changing environment. As ocean conditions shift, their survival may depend on working together. Mongoose and Cobra clash. Some rivalries in nature never end. One of the fiercest are the mongoose and the cobra. The cobra lifted its hood, ready to strike, but the mongoose had already locked eyes with it. A battle was about to begin. The snake lunged, but the mongoose was faster, dodging every move. It circled, looking for an opening. The cobra struck again, but the mongoose leaped back just in time. Soon, the mongoose lashed out, its sharp teeth finding their mark. The cobra recoiled, realizing this fight wasn't in its favor. It slithered away, defeated. This battle had a winner, but in the wild, the rivalry continued. Protective Komodo. In the wild, parents are always protective, especially when it comes to their young. One day, a crocodile ventured too close to a Komodo dragon's nest, eyeing the eggs. Before it could get too close, the Komodo struck. With lightning speed, it grabbed the croc's mouth and yanked it toward the ground. The croc, surprised and caught off guard, struggled but couldn't break free. The Komodo dragon's protective instincts kicked in, fiercely defending its nest. Croc knew it made a wrong move, but at least the eggs were safe. Fierce struggle. A rare sight was captured on camera. Homeowners had left food outside, and a badger was peacefully enjoying the meal. But then, a fox appeared in the frame. It didn't take long for the badger to notice the fox. Distracted for a moment, the badger didn't see it coming. The fox moved in, ready to take advantage. But before it could make a move, the badger lunged, sending the fox back. What followed was a fierce struggle, both animals fiercely protecting what they wanted. It wasn't going to be easy for either to back down. Savage encounter. In Hawaii's famous Hanayuma Bay, a Swedish couple got more than expected during their snorkeling adventure. What began as a peaceful observation quickly turned into a heart-racing moment. The couple filmed a moray eel fiercely battling an octopus, its tentacles writhing in the struggle. The eel was determined, clamping down on one of the octopus's tentacles. But as the cephalopod made its escape, the eel wasn't done. In a sudden shift, the eel turned its attention towards the snorkelers. Emerging emerging from a cloud of ink, it launched itself directly at them, mouth wide open. Thankfully, the couple managed to swim away unscathed, capturing this wild encounter on film. Battle of the Pantanal.
This is something I never saw in my whole life.
On the banks of Brazil's Pantanal, two apex predators faced off in a rare and dramatic encounter. The jaguar, a skilled hunter, and the anaconda, a powerful constrictor, were locked in a fierce struggle for survival. Both creatures fought with all their might, one for a meal and the other for its life. Though the poor snake tried hard to get rid of the predator, it just couldn't break free. And there, with a final powerful move, the jaguar broke free and secured its victory. Finally, it leaped to a nearby cliff to enjoy its hard-earned meal.
Hear that shutter just came out.
Sightings like this are rare, so a huge shout-out goes to the one who captured this incredible moment. Great savior. There's always a greater predator in the wild, and you're gonna know it in a while. In Monterey Bay, California, a swimmer crab was struggling under the spotlights of two divers. A red octopus was relentlessly chasing it, leaving the crab with no way out. Then, just when things seemed lost, a harbor seal swooped in, snatching up the octopus. This surprising rescue wasn't a fluke. The divers, who had been filming, recognized the seal, affectionately named Whiskers. It turns out that Whiskers has learned to use the diver's lights to find a tasty meal. Pretty smart for a seal, don't you think? Confronted by buffalo. In the wild, even giants know when to back down. A Komodo dragon locked its eyes on a water buffalo, ready to strike. The buffalo resisted, but things took a turn when another buffalo stepped in. For a moment, it seemed like a real fight would break out until the Komodo gave a quick warning. That was enough. The buffaloes knew better than to push their luck and made a fast escape. Probably the smartest choice. Constant survival. Survival in Shark Bay is a constant battle. A mother dolphin swam with her newborn, unaware of the shadow moving closer. A hammerhead shark. It was the perfect moment to strike, but just as it closed in, the mother reacted, and she wasn't alone. In seconds, other dolphins rushed in, surrounding the predator. According to the expert who witnessed it, they moved fast, striking from all sides, forcing the shark back. It twisted, trying to escape, but the dolphins stayed relentless. With teamwork and speed, they pushed it away. In the ocean, dolphins fight for each other, and the shark picked the wrong nursery. Marlin capturing prey. A marlin never wastes energy. Off the coast of Magdalena Island, it moved with precision, circling a tight bait ball of sardines. For a moment, it seemed patient, but that was just the calm before the strike. In an instant, it charged, slicing through the water with incredible speed. And honestly, the sardines never stood a chance. The marlin struck with perfect accuracy, then slowed, collecting its prize. There was no second attempt, just pure efficiency. When you're built for speed, hunting looks effortless. Insane fight. Underwater divers captured a fierce battle, one that ended in seconds. A coconut octopus had spotted a crab buried in the sand. Without hesitation, it lunged, wrapping its arms tightly around its prey. The crab thrashed, claws snapping, but the octopus held firm. Then came the beak. It injected venom between the shell and the back leg. The struggle didn't last long. Within minutes, the crab went still. With its prize secured, the octopus dragged it back to its coconut shell. Soon, what remained was an empty shell, and before vanishing inside, the octopus tossed it aside, almost like a warning, bragging its power. Tough opponent. A mantis shrimp faced off against a tough opponent. a clam with a nearly unbreakable shell. But the shrimp had the perfect weapon. With hammer-like claws, it delivered a brutal strike. Then another. The clam's defense started to crack. One final blow, and the shell cracked. The battle was over. The shrimp wasted no time, grabbing its prize and dragging it into its cave. In this rivalry, the clam never stood a chance. Unexpected battle. Captured by Animal Channel in California, this was a battle no one saw coming. The mantis shrimp, a small but fierce predator, faced off against an octopus, one of the ocean's most cunning hunters. But intelligence alone wasn't enough here. The mantis shrimp raised its hammer-like claws, its most powerful weapon. Then it struck. A punch with the speed and force of a bullet landed on the octopus. It flinched, momentarily stunned. The shrimp didn't back down and struck again. The octopus reeled, realizing too late what it was up against. Then came one final blow, right between the eyes. That was it. Defeated, the octopus retreated. A final menacing spread of the shrimp's claws served as a warning. Next time, choose your fights wisely. Whales being saviors. In the icy waters of Antarctica, a dramatic scene unfolded. A pod of orcas had cornered a seal, using their wave-washing technique to knock it into the water. Victory seemed certain until two humpback whales appeared. It wasn't random. Scientists believe humpbacks interfere with killer whale hunts, possibly as a response to their calves being targeted. The massive whales moved in, but the predators stayed focused. The hunt continued. In the end, the killer whales won. Then, as if making a statement, they carried the seal's body toward the humpbacks. A rare and puzzling encounter, leaving much to wonder about. Teamwork pays off. In the underwater world, survival is a game of strategy. A 4-meter stingray glided over a crab colony, searching for its next meal. Crabs with soft shells knew the risk. They had to hide beneath the crowd. Others stood their ground, forming a wall of defense. Amid the chaos, a spy robot disguised as a crab found itself caught in the action. The stingray struck, flipping it over like any other prey. But instead of destroying it, the hit put the spy right back on its feet. Sensing an ally, the crabs gathered, creating a moving fortress of shells and legs. For now, the stingray had to look elsewhere. A rare glimpse into the power of teamwork beneath the waves. Failed tactic. Octopuses are masters of disguise, blending perfectly with their surroundings to avoid danger. But this time, the trick didn't work. A shark spotted one in its territory, and the chase was on. The octopus twisted and turned, using every move to escape. It even released a cloud of ink, but the shark wasn't giving up. With one final lunge, it clamped down, sealing the octopus's fate. Even as it disappeared into the shark's jaws, ink still drifted through the water, a last attempt at escape that came too late. Opportunistic predator. Moray eels are ambush predators, lurking in rocky crevices and striking with incredible force. But in a rare sighting off Indonesia, one turned its attention to an unusual target, a lone reef shark that strayed too close. In a flash, the eel lunged, its powerful jaws clamping down. The shark thrashed, trying to escape, but the eel's grip was relentless. With razor-sharp teeth and a second set of jaws deep in its throat, the eel had the perfect tools for the job. Yet, despite its strength, the struggle wasn't over. The shark fought back, slipping free for a moment, only to be caught again. The eel adjusted its grip, trying to position the shark head first for swallowing. But this time, the meal might have been too much to handle. Venomous strike. A robotic camera, drifting silently underwater, captured a fierce battle near the reef. The banded sea crate, armed with one of the ocean's most potent venoms, had seized a moray eel. The eel twisted and fought, but the snake's grip was unshakable. With sheer strength, the crate spun its prey, holding tight from the mouth. The eel's movement slowed, and the venom was taking effect. Normally, the crate would have to release its grip to the surface for air, but this time, it never let go. The eel had no second chance. Silent battle. Sally Lightfoot crabs, fast and always alert, gathered on the rocky shore. They had a goal to lay their feeding ground, but getting there wasn't easy. A chain moray eel was watching, waiting for the perfect moment. With powerful jaws and sharp teeth, it was built to hunt crabs, and it wasn't alone. As the crabs moved forward, an octopus joined the hunt. It stretched out its arms, ready to grab anything in reach. The crabs had to act fast. Some leaped to safety, while others weren't so lucky. The ones that made it could finally eat. But when the tide returned, they would have to survive the journey all over again. Mortal enemies. For centuries, crabs and octopuses have never lived peacefully together. If they do, it's all about survival. Researchers captured a moment that proves it. As the tide went down, an octopus appeared. It hid in a shallow pool, waiting for the right time to charge. Despite running, the chase was won by the octopus. Before the crab could climb the rock, long, powerful tentacles wrapped around it. In a flash, it grabbed a crab and pulled it back. Octopuses eat a lot, sometimes 3 times their own weight in one day, and crabs are one of their favorite meals. Well, looks like the crab's lunch break just turned into the octopus's. Crab's unexpected victory. Not only the water, but even the sky collides in this battle. A crab versus a bald eagle. As the eagle rested on a rock, the crab made a risky move, taking a break from the water. Bad timing. Before it could reach the surface, the eagle struck, grabbing it in its sharp talons. But the crab wasn't giving up. It fought back, pinching hard with its powerful claws. The sudden attack startled the eagle, making it lose balance. Slipping into the water, it had no choice but to let go. The crab just proved that even the sky's hunters aren't always on top. Rivalry in skies. Wild meets wild. Predators rule the ocean, but this time the battle was in the sky, and it was between 2 of the same kind. In 2016, a trail camera captured an intense moment. 2 owls rested in their nest, unaware of what was lurking above. High in the sky, an owl circled. With incredible speed, it dove straight for the nest. Before the hawks could react, one was already in its grasp. The other hawk flapped its wings, startled. But it was too late. In just seconds, the owl was gone, disappearing into the night with its catch. Nature is brutal, and for the hawks, the nest was never truly safe. Eagle versus cobra. The brown snake eagle has its name for a reason. It's built to take on snakes, including cobras. A rare battle unfolded in the forest. The eagle was scanning for prey. Right in front of it was a cobra raising its hood, ready to strike. The snake had lethal fangs, but the eagle had powerful talons and scale-covered legs, perfect armor against bites. In a sudden dive, the eagle charged. The cobra lunged, but the bird was faster. Its sharp claws pinned the snake, and with one last powerful grip, the struggle ended. For the eagle, it was just another meal. But for the cobra, it was a battle lost before it even began. Risky hunt. Rivalries in the wild never stop, but this one left experts scratching their heads. Off the Northern Territory, a bold snake made a risky move. It charged at a stingray. This wasn't just any snake. It was an Australian bacadam, known for hunting fish. But this time, it had chosen a much tougher meal. The stingray thrashed, trying to escape, but the snake held on, its venom slowly taking effect. While many were shocked by the sight, the outcome was clear. The stingray's fight wouldn't last forever, and soon the snake would claim its unusual prize. Battle for the nest. Humans do their best to protect wildlife, but nature always follows its own rules. Back in 2022, a kestrel tried to invade a barn owl's nest, but the owl wasn't giving up its home without a fight. The moment it spotted the intruder at the entrance, it charged without hesitation. Claws clashed, wings flapped, and neither backed down. The fight dragged on for over half an hour, with neither able to gain the upper hand. In the end, the kestrel had no choice but to give up and fly away. The barn owl had won, proving once again that in the wild, strength alone isn't enough. You need the determination to survive. Risky water. Crocodiles don't just wait, they strike. Even passing through their territory can be a fatal mistake. That's exactly what happened when a lappet-faced vulture decided to take a bath by the water's edge. It dipped its wings, unaware of the silent predator watching nearby. Then, in a flash, the crocodile lunged. The bird barely had time to react before powerful jaws clamped down. Water splashed, and in seconds, the vulture was gone. Well, that's one way to end a bath. Clever bite. Sea turtles usually stick to plants, but this one had a different craving. In the shallow waters of Hook Island, Australia, a young green sea turtle went after a jellyfish. Normally, jellyfish can paralyze their enemies with their stinging tentacles, but not this time. The smart turtle used its flippers like shields, keeping its eyes safe while taking careful bites. After a while, it simply let go, leaving the jellyfish floating. This wasn't worth the trouble after all. Wrong decision. Otters are known for their playful nature, but sometimes curiosity can be a mistake. One otter spotted a massive 7-meter-long anaconda. Instead of keeping its distance, it got closer, wanting a better look. But that turned out to be a bad idea. The snake, possibly feeling threatened, suddenly charged. The otter quickly backed off, realizing it had made a risky move. But then, it changed its mind. Instead of running away, the otter turned back, determined to investigate again. The anaconda wasn't going to let that happen. It lashed out with a quick warning strike, just enough to send the otter leaping into the air in pure shock. Maybe next time, it'll think twice before poking around where it doesn't belong. Vulture's close call. During a safari, tourists captured an unexpected moment, a vulture trying to steal a lion's meal. The hungry bird swooped in, hoping to snatch a bite, but the lion was faster. In an instant, it lunged, grabbing the vulture in its powerful paws. For a moment, it seemed like the bird was done for. But against all odds, it struggled free and took off, escaping just in time. Stealing from a lion, not the smartest move. Fox standoff. Captured in April 2018 in the Aragon Pyrenees, this rare moment shows a golden eagle mistaking a fox for easy prey. The eagle swooped down, talons ready, but the fox was quicker. Dodging at the last second, it turned to face its attacker. For a moment, both predators locked eyes, neither making a move. Then, realizing this wasn't an easy hunt, the eagle abandoned its plan and flew away. Even the king of the skies knows when to pick its battles. And now, let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day. In the frozen Arctic, survival is brutal. A starving polar bear, weak but desperate, spotted an orca calf near the surface. This was a once-in-a-lifetime chance. With a sudden leap, the bear grabbed the calf, dragging it onto the ice. The pod circled below, powerless to stop it. For once, the hunter had become the prey. It finally had a meal, and this time, the ocean's top predator had no escape. Seems like even orcas can't escape the food chain. Even the Arctic's top predator can become the hunted.